Yeah, okay. Jihan sudah siap ya? Okay, yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. A very good afternoon. Welcome to our international webinar regarding development and prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir and 4 years of abrogation of Article 370. Because this is our yeah. This is yeah. This is our webinar as part of a global talk. Welcome to all our distinguished speakers from India and Indonesia, and also our audience from all over the world. Thank you very much. Good evening. And now we will begin this webinar. I will just say a few words. My name is Veeramal Anjaya. Today I will be the moderator as well as speaker. On August 5, 2019, Article 370 of the Indian Constitution, which gave the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir its special status and the mandate to define its domicile rules, was nullified. Jammu and Kashmir is now a union territory. A formerly prince state, J&K received special status under Article 370 of the Indian Constitution since its merger with India in 1947. It was like a semi-country within a country and enjoyed more powers than other Indian states. After failing to take control of the region, Pakistan went to war with India in 1947, 1965, and 1999 over the Kashmir issue. Since it had lost in all of them, Pakistan has been sending infiltrators to Indian Jammu and Kashmir, funding separatist movements and training terrorists to launch attacks in India for many decades. To stop the unrest created by Pakistan and to boost economic development, the Indian government decided to scrap the Jammu and Kashmir special status and bring it under the direct control of New Delhi on August 5, 2019. That will be tomorrow. Kashmir was also divided into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. The past few years have become a golden era of development in the history of the J&K, despite the COVID-19 pandemic. For several decades, J&K used to be a troubled place with a lot of unrest and frequent terrorist attacks. Pakistan has been waging a proxy war against India by sending weapons and terrorists to J&K for several years. So today we will review what happened during the 4 years of this period. So we will have various distinguished speakers from India and Indonesia. The first speaker will be Legend Syed Atta Hasnain, who has received many distinguished decorative awards from Indian government, Indian president. So I will just read his brief profile. Though through most of his 40 years of illustrious career, General Hasnain has served in turbulent environment and hotspots, from Sri Lanka to Siachen Glacier, from the Northeast to Jammu and Kashmir, and in UN operations from Mozambique to Rwanda. He has seen it still in crucial appointments. He served 7 tours in Jammu and Kashmir, decorated it in almost all of them, and knows the J&K conflict very well. He is a military strategist and analyst, as well as a very distinguished scholar and a very active person in various media and social media. He commanded the Indian Army Srinagar-based 15 corps and is today one of the foremost writers and analysts on Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan, Middle East, and transnational extremist violence. He is a much sought for after speaker and writes for major Indian newspapers, the Times of India, the Indian Express, the Hindu, the Chronicle, and the Asian Age. Besides being a regular participant in television debates on mainstream television. With a strong academic background from Sherwood College, Nainital, St. Stephen's College, Delhi, the Royal College of Defence Studies, King's College, London, and the Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies, Hawaii. He has been at the forefront of encouraging the adoption of the US-initiated scholar warrior concept at the Indian Army. He is also associated with the Vivekananda International Foundation and Center for Joint Warfare Studies as a distinguished fellow, and is on the Governing Council of the Indian Council of World Affairs and the Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies. He speaks on national security and various military civil services and corporate institutions with a view to enhance India's strategic center. On 13 July 2018, the President of India appointed Gen Hasnain as Chancellor of the Central University of Kashmir. General Hasnain has 6 decorations awarded by the President of India and 2 by the Army Chief. He superannuated from the Indian Army in July 2013 after 4 years of active service. Now the floor is yours, Mr. Hasnain, for 20 minutes, sir. Okay, thank you. Can you unmute?
Yeah. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be once again on your program. I don't know, I have lost count how many times I've been with you all, but it's always a great pleasure being with your organization and participating in this. And I wish to compliment you that in the domain of Jammu and Kashmir, I have not seen any international organization as deeply connected, well-informed as your organization is. And each time you do bring some very, very good, prominent, well-informed individuals from within Indonesia who have done a lot of research work, and I find sometimes that they know perhaps more than many of the Indians out here who are participating in these programs. So having said that, yes, tomorrow is going to be the 4th anniversary of the amendment of the Article 370. It's not the abrogation, it is the amendment of the Article 370. Now, under which Jammu and Kashmir does not have the powers to make its laws in that manner in which it was earlier. It is no longer empowered in that manner. It doesn't have a special status any longer. It is like any other state among the 36 states and Jammu and Union territories. It is now a union territory. Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory. Similarly, Ladakh, which used to be a part of Jammu and Kashmir, is also a union territory today. So having said this, in my 20 minutes, I'll try and be as analytical as possible. I am aware fully that a very, very good concept note has been put out by you all, and very informative. Some of the data in that may be reviewed, checked again, but I find it is quite authentic. But yet, I do not want to speak on that because that speaks for itself. The concept note speaks for itself, and it shows that the whole issue of development in Jammu and Kashmir, there is no doubt about it. The issue which I'm going to talk about is after the amendment of Article 370, is the situation stabilizing in Jammu and Kashmir? What is the ground view on the government policies? What is the current impact of Pakistan's situation, the situation in Pakistan? What is the impact on Jammu and Kashmir? A lot of people accuse the government to say that you've taken one step back but taken one step forward and taken 2 steps back, etc. I do not agree with this. I broadly would like to say that Jammu and Kashmir has definitely stabilized, no denying. Every parameter of instability which existed earlier is down. Every parameter of security is down. But I have a warning, and that warning is that this situation today is still not the termination of conflict. It is not conflict termination. Conflict termination has different connotations. This conflict is very much stabilized. It is at the last stages of conflict stabilization. But there is always the potential that if we are not careful, it could come back. And that's the basic theme of my talk, on which I should be emphasizing. To really highlight some of the achievements, there's no doubt that the G20 meeting on tourism was conducted very successfully there, very, very securely and successfully. We've had lots of investment coming in, lots and lots of interested parties which have been coming in from the Middle East in particular. We still haven't seen too much of the advent of too many people from Europe, etc. But primarily the Middle East definitely is interested. One thing which we have to keep in mind is that in this 4-year period, 2 years have been lost due to pandemic, COVID. And despite the COVID, all the parameters of development are up. And that's an achievement by us. But what I want to say is the idea of independence or going to Pakistan has still not gone away from the minds of people. And this is something we have to work on much more. The capability of Pakistan to interfere in Kashmir has been altered to a very large extent, but this is also temporary. It can bounce back. The situation south of the Pir Panjal range, which divides the Jammu region and the Kashmir region, while Kashmir is very stable and the parameters of security are very stable, the Jammu region is not as stable at the moment. There have been some incidents in the past which show us that efforts are going on, perhaps to try and regenerate militancy and terrorism in that area. The prime reason for it being that the grid, the security grid, has diluted to some extent. Some forces have gone away from there to the Indo-China border, Sino-Indian border, and because of the lower strength of troops there, the effect of the terrorists coming back, efforts towards the terrorists coming back have probably gone up. Also, one of the big positives of today is that, unlike most times in the past, you have a government in Delhi and a government in Srinagar, the capital of Jammu and Kashmir, which is from the, and in the sense, has the same ideology, the same party, although you have central rule in under the lieutenant governor in Kashmir at the moment, but then central rule is essentially that the governor is a representative of the government of India from Delhi, and this is to the advantage, to our advantage, that you find a synchronization of perceptions and policies in Jammu and Kashmir. This is one major challenge we have faced in the past, when many times it happened that the government in Delhi was different from a different party, and the government in Srinagar was from a different party. And the levels of cooperation, the perception of security, etc., were quite different. It's important also, very, very briefly, to dwell upon the fact that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is very greatly influenced by the situation which is on the west, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, in the Islamic world, in particularly in West Asia. Now, Taliban is making friendly gestures towards India, but I think this is essentially tactical at the moment. The Taliban and the ISI, Pakistan's ISI, there has been a role reversal. Now the ISI is no longer sponsoring the Taliban. The Taliban is perhaps dominating over the ISI at the moment. Pakistan is unstable economically and from a terrorist angle. There is the nuisance potential of Pakistan still remains high. The perception of Indian conventional superiority has reduced after the Ukraine war, the commencement of the Ukraine war, because the message is going out that there can be asymmetry between various nations, and see the way Ukraine has stood up to Russia for the last, how many, almost 18 months now. So this is a message going out to Pakistan that perhaps the asymmetry with India is not so much to the advantage of India, which is not a very positive development. The Inter-Services Public Relations Wing, which carries out psychological warfare, is silent. The new army chief, no longer new, now he's 8 months old, General Munir, has now taken control of things. Is definitely in the seat now, fully seated there, and he is definitely is going to show his military machismo at some stage. Ceasefire, which is there on the line of control, is definitely to the advantage of India and perhaps also to Pakistan under the circumstances. But definitely it's a big advantage to us, because infiltration in that case becomes more difficult. it is both the homegrown terror and infiltration is necessary to be sustained by Pakistan in case they wish to continue, the fires to be burning in Jammu and Kashmir. In the Islamic world, you find this is the end of the first cycle of global terror, but the makings of the next cycle are emerging, and this is happening in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, western part of Pakistan, where you find a lot of terrorist activity with the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Pakistan is on an average losing 4 to 5 soldiers every day. This is the area which is very, very turbulent. Otherwise, the rest of the Islamic world, you find generally activity at a low. Saudi Arabia is in the middle of a revolution on moderate, on bringing in moderate philosophy, moderate ideology. That is becoming the new normal. Now, the Kashmir situation per se as such, I think a lot of Kashmiris who may be opposing this dilution or amendment of Article 370 may be perceiving that the situation is temporary at the moment, and that there is still a case going on in the Supreme Court of India. Even today, as we are talking, there's a case in the Supreme Court of India which is being heard in Delhi. And people may be expecting that there could be a reversal, though I feel that there can be no reversal to a decision which is now taken. Though the media in Kashmir is very, very quiet, perhaps to some extent due to controls, but that is generally helpful to the security establishment in Jammu and Kashmir. The strength of terrorists is extremely low. I wouldn't like to specify, but it's the lowest that I have known in 34 years. These days, maybe one contact between the security forces and terrorists takes place once in 4 to 6 weeks. I am one of those who was at the height of militancy in terrorism in 99, 2000, 2001. I was handling 14 contacts in one day. In a single day, it was 14 places that we were having encounters with terrorists. The one thing which has definitely remained very much open is the whole issue of minority killings. We find Kashmiri Pandits, Kashmiri Hindus, who are minorities in Jammu and Kashmir. They are being targeted, although fortunately we have not had it for some time, but that threat is very much there. Migrant labor, territorial army personnel on leave. We just had a recent case, but today's morning's papers tell us that that individual has come back alive. Then the other achievements of the security forces are that major networks on which terrorism thrives, militancy and separatism thrive, these networks have been dismantled to a very large extent, but not entirely. Lots of safe houses, these have been dismantled, they have been reduced. So therefore, a terrorist may have to stay longer in a single safe house, which makes him that much more vulnerable and provides the capability for us to get intelligence that much faster. The Jamaat-e-Islami Kashmir, which is nothing to do with the Jamaat-e-Islami India. The Jamaat-e-Islami Kashmir is a banned organization. It was banned after the amendment of the Article 370. It is still very active in South Kashmir. I've recently been to Kashmir and lots of reports came to me that surreptitiously it is still very, very active. There's some very good work which has been done by the National Intelligence Agency in India, Investigation Agency in India, the IB, that's the Intelligence Bureau, and the Jammu and Kashmir Police, and of course, followed up with the army, the backing of the army and the CRPF. So lots and lots of overground workers, people who are not really terrorists, but assist the terrorists in their networks, in providing them safe havens, in transporting their requirements, they're spreading the money which is required, etc. These overground workers, lots of them have been arrested, have been neutralized, or are under. So the question is, with all this, can the terrorists rise again? Can the separatist elements in Kashmir rise again? And my answer is, Yes, they can. But our ability, our Indian ability to discern and respond has become much, much faster. And overall efficiency to be able to control the internal security grid is much more efficient. They can also rise, provided they have the leadership. Today, the leadership is not there. I'm only giving you parameters that what could possibly happen, but at the moment, definitely leadership is not there. Leadership will have to be inducted from Pakistan, or a leadership will have to be nurtured within Kashmir. The situation in Pakistan occupied Kashmir does not seem to be denting the Kashmiri psyche in any way. Is there a leadership in the making? I don't think I have any reports to say that something like what happened with Burhan Wani in 2014, 15, 16, is there any potential of a young Kashmiri or a young terrorist rising, a local once again rising? To my mind, at the moment, no. But a lot of people in Kashmir are watching what's happening in Manipur. And that's not a very positive thing, because Manipur is having a lot of problem at the moment. We don't want to comment on it. It's too sensitive at the moment. But lots of people in Kashmir are observing it, and definitely our adversaries across the borders are probably observing this. Can we be surprised at the line of control? But that's an important aspect in J&K. Can we be surprised? Can a Kargil 2 type of operation take place on the line of control? To my mind, very, very unlikely. I think we are very well prepared as far as that is concerned. Can a surge in infiltration take place? When I told you that the strength of terrorists is so low, can a sudden surge of strength take place? That is possible. But for that, Pakistan will have to use very, very bold tactics. The separatists will have to look at great linkages for that to happen from certain directions and into Kashmir. There will be tremendous losses, tremendous casualties, but this is something which is always possible. Is our communication strategy working? Communication strategy is the outreach to people, convincing them that being with India, being with us is the major advantage. Is that working? I think definitely much, much better than the past, but it still remains a little unstructured and not completely focused, which means that narrative building, which is so important, for example, the return of the Kashmiri Pandits, that's a narrative by itself. Are we working on making sure that there's acceptance of this narrative among the people in Kashmir? On this, we need to be working perhaps much more energetically than what we have done in the past. There doesn't seem to be any. There is, of course, a very important thing that from a security-based scenario, this has all moved into what is called a all-of-government approach. Development has taken place because of the all-of-government approach, and the Lieutenant Governor has been very, very proactive, and I think he has achieved a lot single-handedly. Unfortunately, academia is not involved. All of you are from academia, and I think academia plays a very important role in nurturing and bringing back peace. Academia is not sufficiently involved yet. I'm the Chancellor of the Central University of Kashmir. I do think the universities can still play a larger role. This aspect of communication strategy, we could definitely lay more emphasis on. Is there administrative efficiency? I would say definitely this year's yatras, the other yatras that the Kashmiri Pandits organize, I'm sure will go very successfully through the year. Winter management, and when I spoke to the governor only 4 days ago, I did advise him that one of the best ways of winning hearts and minds in Kashmir is to make sure that the winter management is correct, where people do not suffer the various discrepancies of winter. Gas must be available, petrol must be available, power must be available, milk, medicines, food, vegetables, all this should be available in plenty. When all this is available, people are generally happy. Coming to the last part, political environment. Can the political environment, at the moment we are in president's and the governor's rule of now called president's rule, which is directly Delhi governing Kashmir. But there is an element of democracy that we have gone for grassroots democracy, what is called Panchayati Raj in Jammu and Kashmir. We are sustaining with it and doing quite well. Will we have elections in sync with the national elections next year? I cannot say yet. It will all depend on what major decisions the government of India finally takes. Coming down to the Jammu region, this is the easiest territory to infiltrate. And I think this is an area where we need a little more emphasis, because this is the area also close to Punjab. And you as should be aware that there is a little bit of turbulence going on in Punjab, particularly with a lot of sponsorship from abroad, a lot of things happening in Canada, the UK, and America, and places like that. We need to be a little more careful on this particular issue. We need a more psychological outreach into the Jammu area to make sure that the population there is taken on board, trust is established with it, and the development parameters must continue developing in those areas also. My last point, international handling. I would be very happy to see foreign delegations coming to Jammu and Kashmir, like we just had in the G20 meeting. Foreign delegations should come and see for themselves how things are now quite normal in Jammu and Kashmir, that violence parameters are all down, how well tourism is going on at the moment. I would also be very happy to see that the whole issue of the Shimla agreement is spoken about internationally rather than the UN resolution, which Pakistan likes to talk about. From our side, UN resolution is a dead issue, completely died in 1971. And the last point here is that we must create the condition, continue to create the conditions, because the final normalcy will be when the population which has moved from here, the Kashmiri Pandit and Kashmiri Hindu population which has moved out of Kashmir, when the conditions are conducive for their complete return. I'm told by the governor that lots and lots of new accommodation has been built for them. I hope many of them can return, and I hope we can ensure that full security is provided to them. So we are at a very important stage in this period. I think this next 6 months to a year will ensure that we create the base from which we can go beyond and prevent any return to the kind of situation that existed in the 90s or the early part of the millennium. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, General Hasnain. It is a very interesting and very informative analysis, and also we learned a lot about from your analysis. Actually, it is a very good sign in Jammu and Kashmir. The terrorism has come down, and the networking of militants and separatists are also dismantled. It is a very good sign, but still the threat is there. I agree with you, sir, fully. The Pakistan is very notorious in this affair. So it may be they may be facing economic problems and instability in Pakistan right now. But once if they improve in that situation, they may again try to create problems in Jammu and Kashmir. So as I promised you, sir, so we will have 2 questions for you. 2 questions. So one is actually one of our participants are asking, what are Pakistan's motives in Jammu and Kashmir, sir? The first question. What are motives? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think this is a very basic question.
Yeah.
Pakistan lays claim to Jammu and Kashmir historically from 1947. It says that Jammu and Kashmir, being a Muslim majority state, should have automatically come to Pakistan, and as per the rules of partition at that time, being contiguous to the territories given to Pakistan, Jammu and Kashmir should have been a part of it. Now, since that did not happen, and a part of it is with India and a part of it is with Pakistan, their objectives are to try and get that territory somehow or the other. In the interim, they wish to encourage the Kashmiris to look for independence, azadi, which is never had, was never a part of, the agreement between the British, India, and Pakistan. There was none of the states were to be independent. They were all to be either joining Pakistan or India. But now Pakistan is encouraging the aspect of azadi to, sort of attract the Kashmiris, and then thereby the next step probably subsume them to be a part of the Pakistani territory. The second thing is, Pakistan is deeply interested in ensuring that water is a major problem for Pakistan. It's a water deficient country. And sources of water all lie in Jammu and Kashmir. The Indus River, the Jhelum River, the Chenab River, all these rivers have their origin in Jammu and Kashmir. And they feel that in the hands of India, these waters can always be diverted. They can always be switched off, although it's not so easy to do that. We are all aware you have to do so much of damming, you have to do so much of, infrastructure development to be able to stop flow of waters. But they feel that at some stage or the other, India can always calibrate this and prevent waters reaching Pakistan. And then, besides that, they feel that it's essentially an ideological issue between the two sides today, where Pakistan feels that by promoting the whole concept of political Islam in Kashmir, they will create a kind of an Islamic nationalism there, a pan-national Islamism there, and hope like hell that people will uprise, revolt against India, and India will not be able to control them. In the international community will try and intervene, and India will be forced to give away Jammu and Kashmir. That is the whole idea with which Pakistan works there. It has been, this notion has been defeated, this strategy has been defeated virtually, but as I said in my intervention, it's not completely over. The story is not completely over.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Hasnain. Now the second question is, what is the future of Jammu and Kashmir according to your views? What is the future?
See, as far as India is concerned, we have secured the territories which are under our physical control. There are other territories which are not under our physical control, like the Gilgit-Baltistan area, the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir area, the Aksai chain area, which is with China. This is what forms the whole state of Jammu and Kashmir, which we lay claim to and which we say is a part of India. We have published our maps on the 1st of October, following the 5th of August decision. We have published our maps on 1st of October 2019. And if you see them sometime on Google, you will see the whole expanse of blue territory, which shows Gilgit-Baltistan, Ladakh, and Aksai chain as one element, which is Ladakh. And you will find Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and what is there with India also together in the yellow pattern, showing that as the whole of Jammu and Kashmir as a union territory. This is the territory we lay claim. Now, we have got only a part of it under our control at the moment. We aspire that this entire territory must come back to us. Until then, we are not going to rest. Because no part of your country can be taken away from you. How can a population of that country rest if that part of your country is not within you? The problem is that geopolitically, it has become a hot potato. Because Gilgit-Baltistan is the area through which China has constructed what is called the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and taken part of its Belt and Road Initiative through this area to connect up Kashgar, Xinjiang, to the port city of Gwadar, down below on the Arabian Sea. So this is an illegal thing, we say, because this is supposedly a disputed territory, a territory under contention. No third party can come and start constructing infrastructure in these areas, right? So anything to do with Gilgit-Baltistan is going to attract an India-China, Sino-Indian angle to it also, thereby making it even more complicated, more complex, right? So the future I look at, in the immediate future, Jammu and Kashmir will remain stable. We will have our elections there. The restoration of democracy in India is a very important part. Even the last time in 1996, we restored democracy after 7 years. This time we are going to do that again. Already partially democracy exists in Jammu and Kashmir. And thereafter, to my mind, India is not one of those countries going to physically do anything to bring back these territories. And anyway, this is not the season for war. This is not the period for war, as our Prime Minister has very clearly also told the Russian president. So we aspire to develop ourselves as a nation, and you are probably aware that India is the fastest growing economy of the world today. We hope that by 2028, we'll be a $5 trillion economy, by 2035, a $10 trillion economy. And as this development continues, I foresee that areas like Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, where the economic asymmetry will be so high between our Jammu and Kashmir and what is Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, that people from there will automatically look at how they will need to be a part of Jammu and Kashmir. That, by the non-violent route, will perhaps be the best option for these territories to return to India. I'm not hopeful that this will happen in the immediate near future, but I'm very hopeful that ultimately this is what the story will be.
Thank you very much, General Hasnain. I'm also on behalf of the Center for Southeast Asian Studies, our think tank. I'm very thankful to you, sir, for participating in this webinar. Thank you very much, sir. Now we will go to the next speaker. But before that, I will also say that at the end of the session, we have a question and answer session separately after all the speakers spoke. Now we have the second speaker, who is a very prominent person from Jammu and Kashmir, is Mr. Utpal Kaul. Utpal Kaul is also very activist, and also he is from the Kashmiri Pandit. He is a Kashmiri Pandit and a scholar, writer. So now I will read his brief profile. Utpal Kaul, the international coordinator for the Global Kashmir Pandit Diaspora, is a scholar, writer, community activist, leader, and spokesperson of Kashmiri Pandit community. He has been an activist for more than 4 decades. He studied at the Kashmir University. During his university days, he was elected as president of the Kashmiri University Students' Union. He has participated in national and international debates and seminars on Kashmir. Kaul has led many protests to get justice for his community. He met various presidents, prime ministers, and parliamentarians to apprise them on Kashmir situation. He has published more than 100 books on Kashmir. He regularly participates in live television debates in India and also other countries. And he has also been very actively participating in CSEAS activities, webinars, seminars. Thank you very much. The floor is yours, Mr. Utpal Kaul. You have 20 minutes to speak. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Utpal Kaul.
Very good afternoon from New Delhi.
Yeah.
And I am again very thankful to Center for Southeast Asian Studies, Indonesia. I think it is my 4th or 5th time to speak in this prestigious institution.
Yeah.
And you have keen interest in one of the most beautiful parts of the world, that is Jammu and Kashmir, and particularly Kashmir. I am always delighted and thankful to Lieutenant General Ata Hussain, who is a very well-informed person who has worked in Jammu and Kashmir, and so his lecture and his exposition on what is happening in Kashmir is first-hand information. And I'm also thankful to him that he has mentioned about our community and how we became refugees in our own country. And situation this time is that things are moving fast in very nice way in Jammu and Kashmir, but we still remain refugees, nearly 500,000, living in nearly 30 cities in India and also in different parts of the world. Something was done which was extra in our constitution, and that was Article 370. It was not needed because in one country, there should be one rule, one law for all. And each place has equal position or equal right. We can give some special kind of attention or special kind of facilities if the area are like deserts or like mountain areas or like where the it's a very economically backward. Those things can happen. But a political, some kind of a political facilities, and which was Article 370, which was totally discriminatory law. And what happened? The whole of Jammu and Kashmir became kind of victim of that, because every one big business institutions were not sure whether they will invest in Jammu and Kashmir or not. And then on the other side, there were our brothers from across the border. They were keen that there should be a kind of anarchy always in Kashmir, so that it doesn't get stability and they can show to the world that there is unrest in Kashmir and Kashmiri majority community, Muslims, are asking for independence and are asking for separatism. But they forget that after Indonesia, India is the second largest Muslim country in the world. Now we have more than 200 million Muslims living happily, and they have totally equal rights like majority Hindus or Sikhs or Christians or Buddhists. So India and Indonesia share same ideas for democracy, where the people of all faiths and all religions and all section of the society has a chance for development and living peacefully and with mutual trust. So I was very active in 1990. I was doing my PhD in Kashmir University on Kashmir history. I have studies in Kashmir history. And all of a sudden, with some developments for one decade, youngsters were taken to Pakistan, given some special kind of training with the arms. And these young arms, with the help of Pakistan, got nearly 200,000 weapons of AK-47 rifles and Kalashnikov guns and bombs, and just to create a big mess and kill innocent people and create havoc. And the situation became so bad. Oh, and so no one was imagining that there will be peace in Kashmir, and then there will be some growth, economic growth, and industry loss. We lost total tourism. Tourism came to 2% to 5%. And there was not big hospitals were not working, because all doctors, all teachers, they migrated to safer places from Kashmir. And situation was so bad that hundreds of Kashmiris were traveling from Kashmir to Jammu, to Chandigarh, to big cities like Delhi and Mumbai even for treatment. So all on one side tourism, on the other side education, the third side was healthcare, then our handicrafts and our agriculture got totally smashed. So we had big showrooms of handicrafts, we had big industry for carpets, pashmina shawls, and so all this was almost collapsed. But after 2019, 5th of August, after Article 370, things moved from bad to good. from worse to very positive situation stopped. It was like a daily routine that the stone pelters would take the procession and smash the cars, smash the big government buildings, schools were burnt, bridges were burnt. And so this totally changed after Article 370 was amended, as General Atta Hussain said, or we normally say abrogation of Article 370. Now situation is so positive, so good that even now a majority community, minority community, everybody is, it's the Kashmir is shining. I can say Kashmir is shining. But we Kashmiri Pandits, as I say that 500,000 of us are refugees, and so government was trying to give us accommodation because 20,000 our houses and temples were burnt in Kashmir, 20,000 houses. So they started giving some jobs. We are, it's a historical thing that we were very educated people, and so we were in most of the government jobs. And the majority community were in business. Most of them were in agriculture business, in handicraft business, or in tourism business. So government gave a special package which is known as PM's package, Prime Minister's package. And so nearly 5,000-6,000 Kashmiri minority Hindus moved to Kashmir, and they got some accommodation, and most of them were teachers and clerks. But then to create problem, last year they nearly killed 15 people in 2-3 months just to secure the again that you cannot live here. But as I am speaking to, I have to tell you as a student of history that we belong to Kashmir, and we are in Kashmir for last 10,000 years. That is our story. So now if you take any of the sectors, whether it is agriculture, whether it is education, whether it is healthcare, whether it is handicrafts, whether it is highways, things are moving in a very, very fast. And so the new jobs have been created. And it is for the first time after 75 years of India's independence that UAE and Middle East countries are keen and very much interested in investing in Jammu and Kashmir. And one of the big groups of Lalu Mall, who are more in business in UAE, in Dubai, they came with the 800 crore project to make big mall and other businesses in Kashmir. So it happened only after Article 370, because more business people in India and in the rest of the world got confidence, security, because and business is established at that place where there is peace. Because businessmen cannot invest money where there is unrest or where there is a kind of civil war going on. So now the big industry, Indian industry, and people in big business outside India are investing in Kashmir. So now if I take, for example, of healthcare, in whole of India, before Article 370, we had only 9 All India Institute of Medical Sciences, the AIIMS, what we call as AIIMS in New Delhi, AIIMS in Lucknow. We had only 9. But after abrogation of Article 370, we have 2 big AIIMS projects one in Kashmir one in Kashmir and second in Jammu in Vijay. So it is not an ordinary thing to have two aims in Kashmir. In Kashmir aims, it is 2,300 crore worth of investment in that aims. So nearly 100,000 Kashmiris were coming to Delhi and Mumbai and Chandigarh for treatment. And so all these people don't need to come to the rest of India for treatment. Now here is the aims in Kashmir where they will get a specialized kind of treatment, whether it is a kidney transplant, whether it is a liver transplant, where there is even a heart transplant. So highly sophisticated healthcare will be available, and it is already available. So then the increase of medical colleges and medical seats, increase of engineering seats, and it was nearly hundreds and thousands of students from Jammu and Kashmir get special kind of scholarship going outside J&K for studying medicine and studying engineering. So earlier, if they would not get admission in Kashmir because there were not many seats, because we have so much of brilliant students in Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir. So now the government is giving them money to go outside and under very, very special schemes so they can study there. And the big news is about tourism. Last year, nearly after 30 years, 3 million tourists in Jammu and Kashmir. 15 million tourists arrived in Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, 15 million. And out of that, 3 million arrived in Kashmir. My friends have hotels there, and earlier they were getting 3,000, 4,000 Indian rupees for a room. And for same room, now they are getting 15,000, 20,000. Although there is an increase of nearly 5,000 hotel rooms in Kashmir in the last 2 years, but it is very, very difficult to get accommodation in hotels in summer peak season of summer. So much of tourist rush going to Kashmir. Earlier, our tourism industry in Kashmir was only for 6 months. That means from March to October, November. And winter months, not many tourists would go to Kashmir. But now the story is different. Now there is so much of tourists going for winter, and there is a winter sport in Gulmarg and in other places. And now we have ice hotels. Now we have ice restaurants. And so it is encouraging that the tourism industry is doing extremely well. And with the tourism industry, we have gone very big in agriculture. There is now a lot of interest in saffron. Saffron has grown from 400 crores to nearly 700 crores. So Kashmir is very, very big name for saffron. And a lot of research is going on agriculture sector, particularly for protection of saffron. Then we have a lot of exports for cherry, for apricots, for apples, and so walnuts. And we have a best quality of what we call walnuts and almonds. So now there is as the attention is good, there is no unrest. So these agriculturalists or horticulture risks are getting good sum of money for their produce. So it is a very, very encouraging thing. Second is with the agriculture, Kashmir is proud to have beautiful handicrafts. Kashmir's other name is shawl. You must all know about the Pashmina shawl and woolen shawl. If Queen of England would give some special present to Queen of France, it was the shawl of Kashmir. So we have saw shawl industry in Kashmir, not from hundreds of years, it is for thousands of, more than 2,000 to 3,000 years. We have industry of shawls and we have industry of carpets. And we have namda, we have gabba, we have special kind of the flooring, beautiful woolen flooring, and which is other than the woolen and silken carpets, we call it namda and gabba, which is there's a needle work on these bread spreads and other things, and it is going to be a very, very big thing after there's a peace in Kashmir and people could concentrate on handicrafts. There are workers, and these workers are encouraged. Government is giving them special initiatives, special grants, and people, and then they get the awards also, national award. They are brought in Delhi, best artisans, and President of India, Prime Minister of India is giving them special awards just to encourage. And now I can proudly say that all over the world, there is hardly any big city in the world, whether in London or Berlin or in New York or in Rome, there will be a Kashmir store and Kashmir food, because God has given some very, very kind. God is kind to Kashmir. So we have some innovative things, whether in food or whether in handicrafts, whether in agriculture. But when the peace came to Kashmir after Article 317, there are no stone pelters, there is no curfew, things are very, very normal, tourists are coming. And last time, only few months back, G20 meeting came and the representatives from 20 countries arrived in Kashmir, and they saw with their own naked eyes how Kashmir is peaceful, and they traveled to different parts of Kashmir, and they went to Dal Lake and enjoyed the boat ride in Dal Lake. They went to local markets to buy the handicrafts in Kashmir. So the peace has arrived, but we have to achieve a lot, because there is a lot of things to come, and we have to be vigilant also, because our neighbors, and I can give you one example, this part of our Kashmir, where the flour, atta, what we call wheat flour, in the market, people are getting for 20 rupees, Indian 20 rupees. But in Pakistan, side of Kashmir, they are getting that for 250 rupees. Such a big difference. So I am very much worried, my brothers on the other side of POK. And there's a lot of narrative, lot of talks going on there, and even in mainland Pakistan, what is happening, why we are on the war. We are same civilization, we talk same language, we have same dresses, we take same food. It was a British game to divide us, and we will not allow others to divide. And so this politics of separatism and politics of this gun culture, one day it will finish, and the both of the Kashmirs will progress. And I am sure we have the Kashmir's most prestigious shrine of Hindus, the temple of Hindus, is in POK, what we call it Pak occupied Kashmir. It is known as Sharda Temple. And this temple is more than 5,000 years old. And so now we have made a the replica and the symbol of temple just on the border of, we call it, the place is called Teetwal. And this is, we can, there's a river, Krishan Ganga, Pakistan say Neelam River, we say Krishan Ganga River. And across the river is the temple there. And we have made on this side temple. And there is a civil society in POK. They want that we Kashmiri Hindus must come and visit our shrine. And now I am thankful to our brothers in POK who are taking good care of this shrine in Pakistan, in Pakistan side of Kashmir, what we call as POK. And I think things are going on the right way. And I am sure one day total peace will arrive. And Kashmiris are brilliant people. They are very great doctors in different parts of the world, great teachers, great engineers, and they will themselves come back to Kashmir and invest in Kashmir and give direction to youngsters to make Kashmir wonderful, not only Kashmir, whole of India and whole of world, because they have that kind of capacity and capability in their DNA, because Kashmiris are very, very intelligent and they have a total support of nation to build whole of Kashmir, whole of India and mankind. This is my basic thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utpal Kaul. It is a very good presentation and first-hand information. We enjoyed a lot, and we knew many things from your presentation. Actually, the peace has returned to Kashmir after 2019. It is a very good sign. And there are many sectors are developing, and tourism, like G20 meeting on tourism. They have visited many countries of the delegates. They have seen the real situation in Kashmir. What Pakistan is projecting is not true. So this is a very good information. And also, Mr. Utpal Kaul has explained that how difficult it is, because becoming a refugee in his own country, like 500,000 Kashmiri Pandits are living as refugees. It is a very bad situation. So this has to be improved. And now the government is also very serious, and they want to bring back all the Kashmiri Pandits. We have a good solidarity. And Mr. Utpal Kaul also rightly said that India and Indonesia both are the biggest Muslim countries in the world, because Indonesia is the #1 Muslim country, and India has more than 200 million Muslims. It is the second biggest Muslim country in the world. But and also both are shared with so many ideals, so many ideas, like democracy and like pluralism, like living together, religious harmony. Because like it is both are same. So many religions live together peacefully. So that's why I think Jammu and Kashmir is also well known for a long time as a religious harmony. But now only during the last 30 years, Pakistan has been creating divisions in Jammu and Kashmir, creating religious inharmony among the Kashmir, like attacking Kashmiri temples, Kashmiri houses. So they want to create a separate division of the country, but it is not possible, I mean, right now. So it is very good. It is now things are moving very good. Now, thank you very much, Mr. Utpal Kaul. So now we go to the next speaker. Our next speaker is from Indonesia. This is Mr. Dr. Tuku Rajasha. He is a very active member in many, in not only in teaching and also in writing and etc. Tuku Rajasha received an undergraduate degree in international relations from Universitas Pajajaran, continued with a Masters of Arts degree from the Victoria University of Wellington in New Zealand, a doctorate study at the Murdoch University in Western Australia, and a doctorate degree from the College of Law, Government and International Studies at the Northern Malaysia University. Permanently based as an Indonesian civil servant at Universitas Padjadjaran in Bandung, Tuku Rajasa chaired the Department of International Relations of this state university in early year 2000 and later on assigned to chair the similar program at the President University of Cikarang, and continued with another assignment as the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities of this private university. Tuku Rajasa conducted a postdoctoral study at the University of Delaware in the USA and a Fulbright scholarship, a diplomatic training at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and under the ASEAN is also very active in doing research on ASEAN. He also participated in various Indonesian public diplomacy programs to the regions of South Asia, East Asia, and Southeast Asia, and also assigned as part of the Indonesian delegation to the ASEAN Regional Forum, and participated in various meetings conducted in the Asia Pacific region. Tuku Rajasa is also working as a resource person for the legislative and executive branches of the Republic of Indonesia, and commentators on international comments on international relations issue for various national and international media. The floor is yours, Mr. Tuku Rajasa, for 20 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Greetings from Indonesia. My name is Tuku Rajasa, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share with you my humble ideas on the topic entitled Development and Prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir after 4 years of abrogation of Article 370. I'm currently lecturing international relations at Universitas Padjadjaran in Bandung, the capital city of Asia and Africa, and I'm also currently managing the ASEAN Study Center at Universitas Padjadjaran. I'm aware that after 4 years of abrogation of Article 370, this topic has raised global attention. Witnessing the issue from Bandung, please allow me to highlight 3 questions. Firstly, how has the government of Indonesia perceived the issue? Secondly, has the current development and prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370 helped producing a more peaceful environment for people living in India's Jammu and Kashmir? Thirdly, what can Indonesia do to help producing a peaceful Jammu and Kashmir? Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to come to the first point. How has the government of Indonesia perceived the issue? In my opinion, the government of Indonesia fully understands that India and Pakistan both administer certain part of Kashmir, whereas the 2 governments claim the whole part of this territory. Since the partition of India in 1947, both sides have conducted several wars over the region and experienced great number of loss of military personnel, along with the huge loss of life of the residences of the disputed area. Next to this, the ongoing crisis needs to be perceived cautiously, as India-Pakistan relations is also critical for the world, as both countries possess nuclear technology and nuclear weapons, and both have the capacity to strike on each other. Therefore, I can understand why for Indonesia, taking side is unacceptable. On one hand, considering Indonesia's strong belief of its free and active foreign policy, its ongoing practice of good neighbor policy, plus the fact that India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands share a maritime border with Indonesia along the Andaman Sea. The distance between the Indonesian island of Sabang to Nicobar Andaman is less than 300 kilometers. Therefore, the Jammu and Kashmir has also caused difficulties between Indonesia and Pakistan. In year 2020, Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmud Qureshi requested Indonesia in its capacity as UNSC President in August 2020 to raise the Jammu and Kashmir issue at the Council. Following the following response made by the Indonesian Foreign Minister, Madam Retno Marsudi, showed how difficult the issue was for Indonesia, especially during the height of COVID-19. Madam Retno stated that Indonesia would maintain impartiality over the issue because India and Pakistan are both friends of Indonesia. Madam Retno also stated further that India and Pakistan have to work to control the COVID-19 outbreak in Jammu and Kashmir, highlighted the necessity to continue dialogue and negotiation, bridge their differences, and to prioritize people's safety regardless of their background. The above position shows that Indonesian position is clear, rejecting to internationalize the issue and remains neutral today and tomorrow. Please allow me now to come to the second point of our topic today. Has the current development and prosperity in Jammu and Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370 helped producing a more peaceful environment for people living in India's Jammu and Kashmir? Learning from India's sources, such as ANI, the national government in New Delhi has successfully promoted developments in the areas of public administration, infrastructure, and employment, especially self-employment schemes through different departments. At the same time, the government has filed nearly 30,000 vacancies to make the residing people becoming equal stakeholders in various areas of peace and development. Considering the fact that 80% of the Jammu Kashmir population are living in rural areas and about 60% of the revenue comes from the agriculture and animal husbandry sectors, it is necessary to appreciate the national government's efforts to encourage youngsters to be active in the areas of dairy farming for their livelihood. Learning from such records, we can say that such development needs to be appreciated. However, when we talk about future peace, future prosperity, and future progress, we need to think deeper, where the abrogation of Article 370 also at the same time needs to guarantee sustainable development growth, enhance governance, and promote socioeconomic justices for people living in Jammu Kashmir, especially the disadvantaged sections of the community. Among others, it is important to continuously examine the annual Sustainable Development Goals results coming from NITI Aayog's SDG Index. Particular attention should be directed towards ideas such as good health and well-being of people, major health priorities including reproductive, maternal, and child health, communicable and non-communicable environmental disease, universal health coverage and access for all, and then effective, quality, and affordable medicines and vaccines. In this regard, it is important to pay attention on the need for the international media coming from Organization of Islamic Conference and non-aligned movement to gain better access to Jammu Kashmir. By doing this, the world could gain better information on the life of the people following the abrogation of Article 370, complementing the official narratives coming from New Delhi and Islamabad. Please allow me now to come to the third question. What can Indonesia do to help producing a peaceful Jammu and Kashmir? Even though the Indonesian government is aware on the root causes of the conflict involving India and Pakistan, it is very difficult to alter the mind of the people, in this case Indonesian people, who mostly think that the core of the problems are the Hindu dominancy over the local Muslims, which are minority in India. If the Indonesian government continue to discuss the Jammu and Kashmir at the international level, the aura will come back into Indonesia and affecting the livelihood of the minority Hindu inside the country. Being optimistic, highlighting the ideas coming from the Bandung spirit, which underlines the needs for states to settle their differences peacefully. It is important for Indonesia to broadcast the importance of Simla Agreement, saying that the final status of Jammu and Kashmir is to be settled by peaceful means in accordance with the United Nations Charter. Finally, even though no formal statements on security and development in the South Asian region came from the 42nd ASEAN Summit held in Jakarta, I think it is necessary for ASEAN to support the ideas coming from the leaders of Pakistan and India to interact more and to develop trust on each other's ideas for peace. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my presentation. I pray that our families in Jammu, Kashmir will experience peace and prosperity in the future. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Tuku Rajesha. It is a very good presentation. Actually, both, I mean, we should know that both India and Indonesia are maritime neighbors. They have more than 2,000 years of civilizational links, and now India is the comprehensive strategic partner of Indonesia. So, and it is also the, I think India is also the 4th largest export market for Indonesian goods. So it is a very good one. But at the same time, your argument is very nice, because Indonesia's position and Indonesia's neutrality, because Indonesia thinks that both India and Pakistan are friends. So, but it should, the Indonesia also highlights that the peace should be given a chance, and peace should be given a chance, and both countries have to work to sit together and solve the problem. But actually the problem with Jammu and Kashmir is Jammu and Kashmir has legally joined India, they signed an accession treatment by the Jammu and Kashmir king with India. But Pakistan do not have any legal entity, because it is not a country before 1947, and after that, but it wants to claim that it has a strong reason that majority of the Jammu and Kashmir's people are Muslims, so it should join Pakistan. But actually the majority of the people are not only Muslims, but there are also Hindus. Both joined, agreed, and joined India legally. So that is the legal stand. So now we go to the next speaker. Thank you very much, Tuku Rajesha. Now I think I have to become double role. I have to present my paper. But before that, I will just read my brief profile. So I'm a senior research fellow at Center for Southeast Asian Studies. I used to work as the foreign desk editor of the Jakarta Post newspaper. I hold a Master's of Philosophy degree in Southeast Asian and Southwest Pacific Studies from the School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Also I had a MA degree in history from University of Madras. And also I had a BA degree from Usmania University, Hyderabad. So after moving to Indonesia in 1991, I earned a diploma in Indonesian language from the University of Indonesia, Depok. I speak fluent Telugu, English, Hindi, and Bahasa Indonesia. So now I go to my speech. Okay, thank you very much. My presentation, please. Yeah. My title of the presentation is Peace, Prosperity, and Transformation in Jammu and Kashmir after Article 370 abrogation. It is not written, but next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. On August 5, 2019, in a historic and bold move, the Indian government announced that it amended the Article 370 and 335A of the Indian Constitution regarding Jammu and Kashmir through the Parliament. The articles had allowed J&K special status Now everyone in J&K and Ladakh territories have equal rights with fellow Indians, and all Indian laws are equally applicable there. Today we are going to discuss what has happened in Jammu and Kashmir during the last 4 years. Next slide, please. Yeah. Jammu and Kashmir is comprised of Hindu majority Jammu and the Muslim majority Kashmir. So it has two areas. One is Jammu and one is Kashmir. Overall, Jammu and Kashmir is a Muslim majority territory with 68.8% of its 13 million population being Muslims. Another interesting thing is that around 40% of the population in Ladakh, which is no longer part of J&K since 2019, are Tibetan Buddhists. Next slide, please. So British India, it was India ruled, Britain ruled India 1858 to 47, and partition of India into India and Pakistan based on religion in 1947. 547 princely states, including Jammu and Kashmir. 3 options for princely states were given at the time: accede to India, accede to Pakistan, or remain independent. Jammu and K ruler Maharaja Singh was indecisive on this. Next slide, please. So the Pashtun tribal militants and Pakistani soldiers attacked Kashmir on 22nd October 1947. Massacre of Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs. Signature of instrument of accession on 27 October 1947. So actually this started because this Kashmir has joined legally in India on October 27, and after that Pakistan didn't like that, and it started a war from India-Pakistan War 1947 to 1949. In 1949, there was a ceasefire by the United Nations and United Nations Security Council resolutions 39 and 47. India-Pakistan wars also happened in 1965, 1971, and 1999. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. After these all wars in which Pakistan lost, then after that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi from India, he has 3 principles: one nation, one constitution, one flag. Abrogation of Article 370, division of Jammu and Kashmir into Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. There are 3 P's: prosperity, progress, and peace. Next slide, please. Since 2019, there has been a remarkable transformation in Jammu and Kashmir, paving the way for new opportunities and growth. The transformation has laid the groundwork for a bright future, fostering unity, prosperity, and inclusivity. Peace has been restored in Jammu and Kashmir after more than 3 decades of social unrest created by Pakistan. The number of organized stone pelting incidents associated with terrorism, separatist motives has declined. There were 1,758 incidents of stone pelting in 2018, but today there is no single incident. There were also organized closures or burns in 2018 in Jammu and Kashmir. There were not a single closure in 2023. All education institutions remain open and fully operational in Jammu and Kashmir. The government has dismantled the ecosystem of terrorism recruitment in Jammu and Kashmir, resulting in a new era of peace and development. There were 199 new terror recruits in 2018, but now that number has dropped to 12 only. Moreover, during the 4 years, security forces have gained a clear edge over the militancy. From 1st July to July 5, 2023, only 27 terrorists were killed. If you see the chart below, in 2018, there were 470 number of terror attacks, and 200 in which 271 terrorists were killed, 39 civilians were killed, 91 security forces were killed. If you see the figures, it reduced to 2020, 244 violent attacks and 232 terrorists were killed, civilians 37, 62 security forces, and 2021 also it reduced again, and 2022 also reduced again. Next slide, please. Since 2019, Jammu and Kashmir is poised to become the latest success story among Indian states and a model of socio-economic development in the country. The gross domestic product of Jammu and Kashmir for 2023 and 2024 is expected to reach 2.3 lakh crores with a 10% growth. High standard of living. There is also high standard of living in all Jammu and Kashmir residents. Zero tolerance for corruption. No more nepotism or favoritism in government jobs when obtaining business licenses. Full support to small and marginal farmers. Next slide, please. Infrastructure. There is also very improvement in the infrastructure. There is a new industrial policy, and also there are investments with thousands of crores, 100,000 crores being spent on road and tunnel infrastructure. Travel time for Srinagar and Jammu reduced from 10 to 5 hours. 21,943 projects worth 63,000 crores completed in 2022. Kashmir Valley will receive 22% more electricity. New air route Srinagar Sharjah established to attract foreign tourists. Tourist arrivals in 2022 in Kashmir reached 26.73 lakhs, but in Jammu and Kashmir overall it is 18.8 million. That is more than Jammu and Kashmir population of 13 million. Next slide, please. Recruitment of for 11,000 jobs has been completed. Recruitment for another 20,000 people jobs is underway. 137 and 870 youths have received assistance in their entrepreneurial venture under the various self-employment generation and schemes of the programs. The mantra of 4 P's, peace, progress, prosperity, and people first. People are now getting equal opportunity and enjoying equal rights. Recruitment of 11,000 jobs completed. The colleges increased from 96 to 147. All India Institute of Medical Sciences, 2 AIMS were established, 2 state cancer institutes for 15 nursing homes, 1 IIT, 1 IIM. The 7 new medical colleges are established. Next slide, please. Yeah, now we discuss about the Pakistan's new strategy, because after losing all the wars with India, it started a proxy war, like by sending terrorists and militants to Jammu and Kashmir to create unrest. It is a terrorism, and also it wants to encourage separatist movement also. And also it has been very active in border infiltrations and sending weapons and also drugs. The truce violations with Pakistan. Next slide, please. But actually, all these years, Jammu and Kashmir, there was a misrule in Kashmir. Violence is also very high, and instability, political chaos, and economic decline. But now, next slide, please. So actually, as far as the latest development during the last 4 years, the violence is contained. Border intrusions have been reduced. Lesser number of protests, no more separatism of or Azad freedom slogans. Indian government is committed to prosperity, progress and peace in Jammu and Kashmir. Terrorists are finding it difficult to recruit new cadres. Political prisoners have been released. A full swing of economic activities and more jobs, more educational institutions and scholarships. Everything is going normal in Jammu and Kashmir. So there is a huge boom in handicrafts and selling in the hotels and tourism, etc. So thank you very much. This is my speech. Thank you very much. Now we will go to the next speaker. Last speaker, I think. Now we have a senior journalist called Miss Telly Natalia. I will read her brief profile. Telly Natalia is a holder of master's degree from the Paramadina University, Jakarta. She is a journalist based in Jakarta. She has worked in various media groups such as Reuters, the Australian Jakarta Globe, and Metro Global Network of Metro TV. Now she is working as a freelancer. All these years, she has been working to promote Indonesian traditions and culture while defending human rights, particularly the rights of asylum seekers and refugees. She also took part in the 1998 Indonesian student movement protest. Thank you very much, Natalia. So the floor is yours for 20 minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity again as to invite me in this international seminar. Can I be assisted with my presentation, please?
Yeah.
Can you help me with my presentation?
Yeah, itu presentasi dia sudah. Okay. Leah Natalia. Are you screenshot? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Miss Telly, we don't have your presentation.
Hello, we have not received your presentation,
Yeah.
but you can continue, you can speak. I mean, you can continue to speak. Yeah. Yes. Screenshot? Sharing screenshot? Hello? Yeah, Bateli?
Let me try to share
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, okay. Screen share screenshot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Screen sharing. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, Telly, you can go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you continue. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You unmute your sound is not there. Sorry. Can you please unmute your screen? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Please
can
go
you
ahead.
hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so the government of India, after revoke, hold on, I have to turn off.
Yeah. Okay.
The government of India
Yeah, okay, hello. Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the decision. The decision was actually was welcomed by nationalist and pluralist groups in the region, but some fraction, for example, the conservative Muslim, they're still against the decision. That's why the government of India has to take some security measures to reduce the tension at the time, but and it succeeded. The government of India also started many steps after the revocation of the Article 370. It's small step and big steps to develop Jammu and Kashmir state, because the government, the purpose of the government of India to abrogation, the Article 370, they want to ensure the people of Jammu and Kashmir get access to reservation, rights to education, right to communication. And then, of course, after that, the policy, the connectivity has been opened and reopened. The connectivity, it means also including the transportation connectivity for sure. And the people of Jammu and Kashmir started enjoying the same access to many rights like other people across India. And industrial sectors, including tourism industry, they are on the positive atmosphere as well. And we can see next. This is the highlight of some development in Jammu and Kashmir after the revocation of the Article 370. It's like, for example, international flight from Srinagar and Sharjah has been started on October 23, 2021, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi also flew in from Sharjah to Srinagar to mark the beginning of direct flight. In addition, night flights from Jammu and Srinagar have also been started. This has not happened previously, but since 2021, everything started new thanks to the revocation of Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. And also land transportation connectivity, such as to connect Kashmir with train, some lines established, Udaipur Katra section, Binau Crescent, and other section have been commissioned. And this is also improve the connectivity, people to people connectivity, and of course will help tourism. In the last 2 years, according to the Ministry of Home Affairs of India, the development of power projects for 3,000 megawatt capacity revive the progress and on the right track right now. Hopefully, the electricity access also will come to all of the people in Jammu and Kashmir. They get access like other people in the other part of India. And hundreds of educational facilities have been reopened and dozens others have been established. It's including facilities like for technology, for medical studies, and others that previously are not were not there in Kashmir and Jammu. And direct investment, of course, started coming to various industries in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in dairy sector that contributes to India's positive GDP. Dairy factory is actually becoming one of the largest contribution for Indian GDP. 1.6% to the GDP itself last year. And plantation sector has been growing, as other earlier speakers said. Yes, saffron as the growing industry in plantation, in particular in Jammu and Kashmir right now, and it's become main commodity to be exported to other countries across the globe. Another thing is the government of Jammu and Kashmir has carried out recruitment also since the revocation in 2019. The recruitment to public sector, it is the government officials and others. So since 2019 to June 2022, totaling more around 30,000 people have been recruited to work in the government sectors. And in addition, according to the government, recruitment is keep continuing from the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And of course, as earlier speakers said, the decreasing of security disturbance. This is also really helped to the visit of tourists to the region and investment for sure. And this is one of the pictures. This is after 3 decades, finally, the first public celebration of the 8th of Muharram, or some of 10th of Muharram, or with the so-called Ashura celebration, was held in Jammu and Kashmir region. Sorry, this is not on July, but that's like few days ago, 6 days ago. And this is the first time on public this celebration was held. And this is mostly, this is the pictures that I present to you. It's actually, it's not really, you can see the crowd, but actually other pictures is so crowded, a lot of people packed on the street. And this is a very positive signal, and this is also can attract tourists to come to the region during this kind of celebration, especially for Shia Muslim. This is a very big celebration. As my main topic, the tourism sector in Jammu and Kashmir after revocation, actually supported by the opening of transportation and connectivity to Jammu and Kashmir, as I have explained previously. This is attracts tourists to visit what's so-called the paradise on earth region. 18.8 million tourists were recorded visiting Jammu and Kashmir state in 2022, according to the government data. And this is a record breaking since the independence of India itself. This is, of course, positive impact from the connectivity itself and the reduce of tension and the insurance of security in the region. The boost of tourist visit, of course, is impacting local businesses in that region, including hotels, local markets, craft, and others industries, related industries. In May 2020, events were held in Jammu and Kashmir for G20 events. And this is also a very positive development in that region, especially when India is holding G20 presidency this year. It's like advertisement for the tourism industry for Jammu and Kashmir. And we expect that this year, the tourist visit to the region will increase as well. What we can see from Jammu and Kashmir now, I want to present you a short video. This is from the government about what does it look right now over there in Jammu and Kashmir after the revocation of the Article 370. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Let me play the short one. Hold on a second. I hope you can see.
Yeah.
I try.
You can see it.
Can you see it now? No?
No, I think it is starting. Yeah, screen.
Let me.
Yeah, okay.
Can you see?
No, not yet, not yet. Okay.
Hold on. I'll try because it's very beautiful picture of.
Yeah, okay. Is it possible or not?
I try my best. Otherwise,
Yeah, you just skip it. You skip it because it is taking long time.
I think I can keep it the.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. You conclude your speech. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thank you all for hearing my presentation, and I'll be open for your question for sure.
Yeah, thank you very much, Leah Natalia. You have presented very good rightly because in Jammu and Kashmir, the normalcy has returned and everything is moving forward. And also the tourism sector also very booming. Actually, it is booming because of the G20 meeting in May. It is also very boosting image of Jammu and Kashmir and the tourism arena. So it is very good. So now we will move to the question and answer session. But before that, I think we should take a group photo, I think. Yeah,
Yes,
Jihan.
Pak.
Yeah, good. Okay, good photo. Okay, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Leah, your photo is not there. Yeah. Group photo.
Miss Leah, can you open your video?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
3. Okay. Once again, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. So now we can move on to question and answer session. So the first question is for Mr. Utpal Kaul. What legal right Pakistan has in Jammu and Kashmir? This is a question from the audience. What legal right Pakistan has in Jammu and Kashmir? Mr. Utpal Kaul, please, floor is yours.
You see, I have to give you a little background.
Yeah.
That at the time of independence of India in 1947,
yeah,
before that we had nearly 556 or 46 states within India. What we call India is the Indian subcontinent, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. And we had, one was British India, and one was some 500-600 rulers who were ruling the territories, like Delhi, Calcutta, Karachi, Mumbai. These big cities were under the British, directly by British rulers. But then there were kingdoms, like we have Amarkot in Pakistan, like we have Jammu and Kashmir, we have Hyderabad, we have Junagadh, Bikaner, Jaipur. All these were ruled by the kings or Nawabs. So under the 1947 Independence Act, it was decided that whatever the king will decide, or the Nawab will decide whether it will go with India or Pakistan. And so Jammu and Kashmir King Maharaja Hari Singh took some time because there was a lot of pressure from British, from Pakistan, and India was silent. But Pakistan did a big mistake. They attacked on 26th of October. They attacked, they called it a tribal attack, but it was a regular Pakistani army. They attacked. And so the Kashmiri Maharaja, the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, went to Delhi, went to the government of India and said, please help me. The government of India said, how can we help you? Because you are another country. He said, I will join Indian Union. He signed the accession. So he signed the accession and it became part of Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh. It became part of India, and then the India sent troops, and then it's a history. There was a fight for last 3 months, and then Pakistan, Russia and America came in between. Also, we have in Jammu and Kashmir, we have LOC with Pakistan. That is called the line of actual control. So main value of Kashmir is with India. Jammu is with India, but Muzaffarabad, Kotli, Bimbar, and Gilgit, this is with Pakistan. And so Pakistan has legally no right to claim Kashmir or Jammu and Kashmir. So they only say that Kashmir is a majority Muslim and they should go to the Pakistan. But question is that we have more than 200 million Muslims living in India. So Pakistan has not even the half of that population living in Pakistan, and Muslim majority is happy and Kashmiri Muslims are happy. And if you see in an average, the largest number of mosques is in Kashmir than in Pakistan. So Pakistan must take care of themselves very well rather than interfering directly in Kashmir. And I was, through your prestigious institution, I will make friendship request to Pakistan, and I will love to take the children of Pakistan to show them the beautiful lakes of Kashmir, the beautiful gardens of Kashmir, so that they will enjoy. Let us be friends, let us be brothers. Come, we will also visit. I remember my mother was telling me how she had gone to Lahore when she was only 9 years old. So we can just be brothers and enjoy the peace and prosperity together.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Utpal Kaul. And another question, there is a question for Mr. Teku Raja Shah. Why did India abolish the Article 370 in 2019? Teku Raja Shah. Why did India abolish the Article 370? After 70 years, I mean, it abolished, I mean, that.
I think that this is the prerogative of the government. Yeah.
Yeah.
India has a prerogative to maintain its territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Yeah.
And this is one of the results. Yeah. I do not know the decision-making process here. I do not know. What I see is the output.
Yeah.
That's the output. The decision has been done. Yeah.
Yeah.
The decision has been done, and what needs to be done is to make sure that the new policy is good for everybody, not only good for the currently ruling party, but this decision is to be made as sustainable.
Yeah.
Sustainable, and then the developments need to be continuously informed to the world, so that people know that the basic interest of the people living in Jammu Kashmir
have been well catered. So this is what I think, Professor.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. Actually, the Jammu and Kashmir, this Article 370 gives.
I can, if you give me
Yeah,
1
please.
minute.
Yeah, please, sir. Yeah, please.
I can,
please. Yeah,
if you give me 1 minute, I can just say,
yeah, please.
when Article 370 was introduced in Indian Parliament, at that time, the Home Minister of India, Sardar Patel, said we are giving this Article 370 to Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh is a kind of a special status to them, so that they will get some development. But it is a temporary. And he said that it is a temporary. And with the passage of time, it will go. So I think it was only for 10, 20 years, but it took nearly 70 years. And after all, it is gone.
Yeah, that's right. It is a temporary measure. So now I think India thought that it is because according to this Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir has a region in India, but which do not have equal Indian rules are applicable there. And also they have their own flag, they have their own constitution, etc., etc. So that's why I think this is the reason. I think that's why they abolished this reason. And now the question.
Can I give my thought?
Yeah, please.
So what I understand, it's actually the goodwill of the government, because they saw after giving the autonomy to the people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh to have their own authority on their own decision to develop their people, and only 3 aspects that government of India involved in directly, including foreign affairs. Actually, there is no really development over there unless we, as a people outside India, Jammu and Kashmir, of course, we saw that only about terrorism, about attack here and there, bombing here and there. There is no development. There is no, the security cannot guarantee people to live their life normally. That's what my perspective as someone who are living outside India and seeing from an international perspective. But then the government think this is the time to give the rights. As I mentioned earlier, the purpose of revoking the Article 370 actually to give access to right of education, right of communication, and others. So actually, government of India wants to grant all the rights of the people that the people of India should get to also to the people of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. That's what from my perspective.
Thank you, Teli Natalia. We have another question, which is also earlier it was asked to General Atta Hasnain also, but it is now I am asking Mr. Utpal Kaul. What are Pakistan's motives in Jammu and Kashmir?
You see, from when India became independent and 2 countries, because Jammu and Kashmir was a thin Muslim majority. It was 45-55, say 10% were the extra Muslims. So Pakistan and Kashmir was the most beautiful place. And so they had obsession to have Kashmir. But if you will read the history of Kashmir, you will see the Muslim majority leader of Kashmir, Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah. He opposed the 2-nation theory. He opposed Jinnah, and he went with India. So it was not only the sign of Maharaja Hari Singh, the king. It was the Muslim majority of Kashmir and the Hindus and the Sikhs and the Buddhists all together going with India. And After 1971, when Bangladesh became separate from Pakistan, and so India understood, Pakistan understood that it was because of the help of India that Pakistan was divided into two. So they started first trouble in Punjab to ask Sikhs to have a separate country, and then to Kashmiris. But Pakistan won't get success in it, and I advise Pakistani leadership and Pakistani people to concentrate for their own prosperity and development. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So actually, it is very interesting to see that Pakistan's motives, because Pakistan is a country where the military is dominated. It was established in 1947 on the basis of religion. But actually, there is no legal right, because the official legal legal person was the King of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir. He signed legally accession treaty to India, but Pakistan do not have. But then it became upset and it attacked the Jammu and Kashmir with these tribal militants and then their troops. So it was a very bad thing. But now I will ask another question to Teli Natalia. What is the situation of tourism now in Jammu and Kashmir, according to you?
Yeah, according to what I understand, as I explained earlier, actually, in 2022, we already see the record breaking.
Yeah.
To 18.8 million tourists.
Yeah, tourists. Yeah.
It's not a small number. It's a huge number.
Yeah.
After 3 years, it's in 2022 for sure.
Yeah.
And then that's also the highest number of tourists visiting the region since the independence of India.
Yeah.
And this year, when India is holding the presidency of G20, the government of India also decides to hold several events related with G20 in Jammu and Kashmir. This is also one of indication that the good willingness of Indian government to attract tourists to come to Kashmir and Jammu. If we see the valley of Kashmir is very beautiful, also the tradition, including like, for example, the tradition of a Muslim majority in Kashmir for sure, but also there is a tradition that the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they can bring to other international community to see, and this is one of the tourist attractions beside the industrial sectors that is now boosting as well in that region. So it's a very positive impact from what we can see from 4 years of the revocation of the Article 370, when Jammu and Kashmir really integrated with India, if I may say that. And this is some of positive impacts, including the tourism. Now, I also, as someone who is outside India, I'm not non-Indian citizen, I also want to see, because I feel safe now to visit Jammu and Kashmir, as I say that the security is now more secure than previously, that I heard only about the bomb, terrorist attacks, and so on. Now, as a tourist, and I love traveling, of course, I also want to visit, especially when it's called a paradise on earth. So it's a very good sign.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Teli Natalia. Actually, the Jammu and Kashmir also, because of its beautiness, many movies were also being built now. I think last year, more than 300 movies and television series were also shot. But I think we want to hear from Mr. Utpal Kaul as a first-hand information. What is the situation of tourism now in Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Utpal Kaul? Can you please answer?
Other than my activism, I am directly interested, and tourism is my profession.
Oh, okay, that's
So I
good.
may tell you that you will be very happy that I have taken a lot of Indonesians to Kashmir, and I have taken a lot of Indonesians to different parts of India. And for reasons I will not name, some prominent leaders and ministers of Indonesia I have taken.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so I learned Salamat Pagi and Salamat Malam and things like that. At that time, I could even understand Indonesian.
Yeah,
I did it for many years.
yeah.
And now I tell you that even in top terrorism, militancy, there were some Indonesian groups coming, and there were some Malaysian groups coming,
Okay.
and Singaporean groups coming, because the Europeans and the Americans had advisory. Kashmir is a dangerous place, don't visit. Because every country has their own advisory for going. But then we have some friends in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore and other countries who are giving them guarantee that we will come with you. So, but this time the situation is totally different. I am very happy that top Bollywood actors have come to Kashmir, and there's a lot of encouragement from the government, and people are cooperating, and so lot many serials. And I have also made one serial. I have made one film on Kashmir recently, and all the shooting was done for 2 weeks in Kashmir. So the things are happening very nicely. I remember when I was very, very young, I was totally working with Bollywood. And if you know the Raj Kapoor, and I have worked for the Bollywood, my 2 young sisters were in that movie. We worked with Rajesh Khanna and South Indian actor Shobhan Babu and Manjula Devi, Manchi Manjila, and other. I know them very personally. So it was a big business. Even the Hollywood, these production companies would come to Kashmir. It is so unfortunate that we lost for last 30 years so much in that scene also. But things are improving. As you said, nearly 300 films were shot, and I think more and more celebrated actors, production companies from Hollywood, from Bollywood, even including Indonesia and Southeast Asia, will make some films in Kashmir. It's a beautiful land, and it has a great culture.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Utpal Kaul. Now we have an important question. This is maybe Mr. Tuku Raja Shah. Is it really helping Jammu and Kashmir after 2019, according to you, sir? Is it really helping Jammu and Kashmir after 2019?
Well, if I see the data coming from the Indian sources, and also the data, the state analysis from my colleague Telly Natalia, economy is booming, and then people, they are experiencing greater confidence. And then for the youngsters, they are beginning to receive credits and also tuition to be active in the areas of agriculture and husbandry. Well, this is okay, but what we need is a guarantee that all good programs are going well, and all good programs receive a proper auditing, from the based on the all requirements under the Sustainable Development Goals. So if the results are positive and continue to be perfected year by year, I think we can witness Jammu and Kashmir experiencing greater peace, greater prosperity, and then they're becoming the responsible citizen of the world planet. So in this case, what we need is consistency, regardless of who the governments in India, following the elections. Special attention must be always given to Jammu Kashmir. to permit the ordinary citizens achieving their best what do you call it, their best endeavors. In this case, we are talking about the future. In this case, even though we have demographic bonuses, we are having demographic bonuses in Indonesia. I'm sure you're also experiencing demographic bonuses in Jammu and Kashmir. But we need to ensure that never think on the quantity of the youth, but think also on the quality of the youth. So in this case, development must be continued with better precision, better standard, and then make sure that people in Jammu Kashmir that they are not the victim of modernization, but they are active actors in this area of modernization. This is what I think, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Teku. Now, would you like to add something about this question? You, Telly Natalia, like question is it really helping Jammu and Kashmir after 2019?
Yeah, thank you. Of course, it's really helping. And as I said before, as a journalist, we wrote a lot of stories previously about Jammu and Kashmir. It was only related with bomb, so violence and things like that. But nowadays, we can say that we see a very positive development over there. And I watched some videos also about the way the government improved the infrastructure, established as earlier speakers also mentioned, there are a lot of shopping malls established and so on and so on. This is a positive sign also. And this is really help as a help factor for the young generation, especially because they can get easy access to other part of the world, not only in India, especially when the purpose of revoking this Article 370 is also to grant the rights of communication. It means now we are in the era world without borders because of the internet connection. And by doing that, there is no curfew, there is no restriction or ban and everything like that. It's very limited from what I understand. It's also helped the young generation to improve their creativity and connect with other people in the world to do what's so-called collaboration right now, because this world today, we cannot skip from what's so-called collaboration in doing everything in every aspect and every sectors. So this is very positive beside the economic development, infrastructure development, tourism development, and other sector and agriculture. It's also a good combination of the positive impacts of the decision in August 6, 2019. That's from me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Would you like to add, Mr. Utpal Kaul, to this question? Is this really helping Jammu and Kashmir after 2019?
Now I will speak as a Kashmiri.
Yeah.
See, the first of all shops would close at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And so parents would not allow children to move out of their homes. And very few people would go to the Dal Lake in the evening, or we have a boulevard road where people would go and eat outside and go to the gardens. Everybody would come back by 5:36. Now you can go to Kashmir, you can move around at 10:30 in the evening, you can go for shopping, you can go and have tea and coffee and a Kashmiri special kahwa and go in the Dal Lake, move around the gardens, and there is that kind of security or that kind of confidence in the people. And there would be always tension, where there will be a bomb blast, when there will be a curfew, when terrorists will come and kill somebody. So now people are at ease. And because of these, I have not dealt one, there was a psychic problem. There was in people of Kashmir, a psychic problem was, and there were so many other things connected with this terrorism, psychologically, physically, and in the health sector. But now, for last 3-4 years, people are thinking we are free. There is all big mosques are open. They are going for prayers. Hindus are going to the temples. Sikhs are going to their gurdwaras. And there was a narrative started by Pakistan and others that this is a BJP Modi. He's a very strong man. He will implement that and this. And now they see it is totally opposite. And the most popular person in Pakistan is Modi. If Modi will fight election in Pakistan, he will defeat all leaders because they see how he is working, how the development is taking place in each and every field in whole of India, from Kashmir to in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we have only one question left. This is like a concluding remarks. So I will ask, starting with Miss Telly Natalia, what is the future of Jammu and Kashmir according to you? What is the future?
Yeah, I can see, even I'm not a fortune teller, but
Yeah.
I can see from what is going on right now and what have been done previously in the last 3 years, and now what is ongoing this year. I see the positive and bright future of Jammu and Kashmir if this kind of situation continue and the development is keep on its track as what the government of India has promised, and they have to always remember the initial purpose of revoking the Article 370 to to lift the autonomy status of Jammu and Kashmir. So by doing that, actually, the people will feel the prosperity, and they will be prosper. Also, the security is guaranteed, so people can develop their creativity and build the region itself. And of course, the impact of the good development in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, will impact India as a whole and the region in general.
Thank you. Thank you, Telly Natalia. Now I want to ask Mr. Tuku Rajesha, what is the future of Jammu and Kashmir according to your opinion?
Well, the momentum is there, Papa. Momentum is there.
Yeah.
So now it's time for the government to practice good governance.
Yeah.
Good governance. Provide the best practices of good governance done by the government, and then conduct also good corporate governance for the private sectors. And then at the same time, you do public diplomacy, inform what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir to the world. And then involve all the people, regardless of religion and race, to raise their standard so that Jammu and Kashmir could become the top SDG standard in India.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now the last speaker will answer, what is the future of Jammu and Kashmir according to Mr. Utpal Kaul?
Future of Jammu and Kashmir is very, very bright.
Yeah.
People of Jammu and Kashmir are very intelligent, very wise people, and we were educated some 3,000 years back also. We have a unique kind of civilization where we are very intelligent people, very hardworking people, very sweet people. And I think the kind of support Modi government is giving in Kashmir, I will add here one, for the poor Muslims, he has called a Pasmanda Muslims. The backward Muslims are getting special kind of help. So these kind of things, from minority to majority, for all the sections of society, government has to become a friendly government who cares. And so people will also appreciate and are appreciating, and the investors will see that there's a peace and prosperity. So the investors will come from Indonesia, investors will come from different parts of the world, and there will be a lot of jobs available, and people will feel so happy. So I see the future very, very bright.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Utpal Kaul. Thank you very much. Now we came to the end of this webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we close this webinar. Thank you. Thank you, Tuku Rajasha, Tele Natalia. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, see you. See you again. See you again. Okay, yeah.